from Mexico, Boker Tov. Christine from New York. Okay, we conclude today chapter 16. Chapter 16 in one word, tfuna. Tfuna means, comes from the word bina, understanding. An understanding heart, an intelligent love. Intelligence is intelligence. Love is the heart. What does it mean? Alter Rebbe explained yesterday. The way we are made, I'm standing right now. Even sitting, it would be the same as opposed to lying down. Is that the head comes first, then it comes through the throat, the neck, comes to the heart, then hands and feet. That's the way we were made. And because we're not like animals on four, that the heart and the mind are on the same level. The mind can feed the heart, that the heart should feel a love and awe towards God. We have that capacity. And that should lead us to action with our hands and our feet. We act with our hands, we act with our feet, right? And that's the normative way. But not all of us have the capability of being able to meditate on the greatness of God, and that's going to bring us to a feeling in the heart. So there's another kind of feeling in the heart, and that's called an understanding heart, as opposed to a full-blown emotion in the heart of love and awe of God. The understanding heart knows that it's fitting that there should be that full-blown emotion, and it's fitting that we should cleave to God, even though it doesn't have the capacity to have the full emotion. That's what we explained yesterday. So Alter Rebbe says, well, this is actually hinted in the teachings of the sages in the Talmud, where the sages say, Machshava tova HaKadosh Baruch Hu mitzarfa lamaisa. Those are the words in Hebrew, meaning that the Holy One, blessed be He, joins a good thought to the deed. Well, what does it mean to join a good thought to the deed? Means as follows. Good thought means doing a mitzvah, doing a commandment of God. That's something that's good, right? And it's coming from the thought. What does it mean it's coming from the thought? From the mind, from the understanding how important this is, how good this is to do this good thing, this good deed, right? But what's lacking? So that's lacking over here is, well, let's explain. You have the good thought in your mind to do, the appreciation of your relationship with God, the appreciation of the greatness of God, and you have that in your mind. You're capable of thinking about that, meditating upon it, right? However, the heart being corporal, so not necessarily is the heart always feel that which the mind understands. And therefore, the heart, that is the internal organ that gives vitality to the body, to the rest of the limbs of the body, not necessarily will the body respond to the feeling of the heart, yet it does give vitality. So, meaning, when you really have a love for God, or let's take a metaphor for someone, when you speak with them, you speak with your hands animated. You speak with your whole limbs of your body are engaged, because there's this feeling of connection, this feeling of a bond. In other words, the heart's feeling is now affecting all the organs of the body. That's in a regular way in the capability that we have. That the heart, that is only a piece of flesh, but when it is feeling that feeling, it gives now vitality, pumps vitality into the rest of the body, that makes the rest of the body animated, full of life, full of that love that you're feeling in your heart. Again, that's a normative way. But at times the heart doesn't have the feeling. All that it has is an understanding of that love. but doesn't have that feeling. And therefore, it doesn't give the vitality to the rest of the organs of the body that it should be animated, full of vitality. That's the metaphor. What does that mean? So as we explained, when you understand something, it feeds the heart and therefore gives the vitality to the hands, which are, and the feet, which now are the action of doing the good. So this is the idea. What does it mean that God, he joins the two together? In other words, we said that the God joins the good thought to the deed. You have the good thought, in other words, the appreciation, the understanding of how this mitzvah is so important, how your relationship to God is so important, right? And yet you don't have a palpable feeling in the heart. God joins it to your action. In other words, it's skipping the heart in a certain way. It's skipping a not fully engaged heart. So you might think, okay, that's it. I missed out. I blew it. No, that good thought, in other words, the very fact that we were able to think about this, meditate upon this, contemplate this, again, our relationship with God, the importance of this mitzvah that I'm doing for God, right? Whatever it might be. And it doesn't bring me to the palpable feeling of love and awe in my heart. God joins it to my action and gives it life, gives it vitality, gives it something that wings, something we'll explain much later on, wings to my mitzvah, that it's going to fly. It's going to, just like wings of a bird, fly. The bird flies. So likewise, it gives to our mitzvah a capability to ascend, that is going to have the holiness and the godliness to it as a result. Even though I didn't have the palpable feeling of love and awe in my heart. This is the teachings of the sages. And the Alter Rebbe says it's hinted in the teachings there, because of course, holy, righteous people, when they say something, even though it may not be the simple meaning of what they say, but since it's inspired by their connection to God, therefore in the wisdom of what they say has a depth. And what's hinted over here is the Alter Rebbe says that God joins the good thought to the deed. Usually the terminology we would be that God considers as if it was done. As if it was done, but doesn't say that here. God is joining. God's joining the good thought, the meditated thought of our connection to God, the greatness of God, and joins it because we skip the step of the heart, the fully engaged heart. We don't have an understanding heart, yes, but not a fully heart that is feeling, that animates. Therefore, now your hands and your feet, meaning your deed. And God joins it and makes it just the same, in a sense. Well, in a sense, just the same in that it is, it's elevated, it's beautiful, it's a wonderful mitzvah that you do in such a manner. And that's the good thought, joined to the deed. And that's chapter 16. So what is that saying to us? That we can contemplate and think and be quite honest. I speak for myself that my contemplation, my thinking doesn't produce real, honest to goodness, love and awe of God in my heart. And here the Alter Rebbe is speaking to me and saying that the effort that you put into the good thought, to the thought of that relationship you have to God, the greatness of God, the importance of doing this mitzvah in a godly way, brings an understanding to the heart. And that understanding then prompts the deed and brings us to do another mitzvah, brings us to study Torah. That's fantastic. That's fantastic. And that's the end of chapter 16. And we have Anna with us, Erica from Norway, good afternoon. Shayin from New York, good morning. Ashley from Texas, thank you for joining. We have Khani from London on Instagram, and from Brazil joining us, from Israel. Thank you for joining. Doran from Saskatchewan, where the sun is finally coming and warming up. Hello from the UK, from Min. I don't know if I got that right. Tony from Costa Rica, welcome. Ernie, good morning from Mississippi. Jenna, shalom. We have Stephen from Stockholm, Sweden, thank you. Asking, what is Tanya? Tanya is the Bible of Chabad teachings, of mystical teachings of the Torah. That's what it is. Shalom from Italy, from Anna. Short class, because it is a short class today. Jean, thank you for joining us from Alabama. Louise from the Philippines. Marjorie from Dania Beach, Florida. We have Jonathan, hello. Good night. I guess it must be late wherever you are. Susanna from Miami, shalom. Sandy was with us. Lamont. And John. All right. We're talking about chapter 16 over here in Tanya. Sorry, I didn't catch that question. And we just finished chapter 16. Tomorrow we will continue with chapter 17, which will bring to a conclusion this part in chapter 17. Will bring a conclusion to this element. What is this element in Tanya that we're speaking about? Is the mind having dominion over the heart, that we can contemplate, we can think about, meditate upon God, the greatness of God, our relationship with God, the importance of our purpose, all of these things that we meditate upon, that it brings something to the heart. That, remember, we when we stand, our head is on top. It brings it through a goren, a meitzar hagoren, a constriction of the neck, and then brings it into the heart. Because of the great constriction, difficulty to bring from that which we understand, that we should bring it into our heart, that it should be a palpable feeling of love and awe towards God, which will include the love and awe to doing a mitzvah, studying Torah, the love and awe in fulfilling the purpose that we were created for, all of those things, right? Bringing into our heart. And then from our heart, it comes to the rest of the limbs as the heart pumps blood into the rest of the limbs of the body. That brings vitality to the rest of the body, which is the actions in particular that we do of Torah mitzvahs and fulfilling what God needs from us in this world through our hands and our feet, so to speak. And that's what we're speaking about. How our minds can bring to the heart, and from the heart to do for God, to fulfill our purpose, to be a servant of God. That's what we're speaking about. And then we finish chapter 17, start chapter 18, we're going to go into a different kind of connection to God that's not based on the intelligence of the mind. More to come. I'm Rabbi Ronnie Fine, coming to you from Chabad Zich and Kadesh in Montreal, Canada. It's a privilege and pleasure to share with you, Tanya. Have a wonderful day.